back to Buckle Up Garage. Thanks for tuning in. Today we need to take a look into something that's more of a basic maintenance, mechanic fix type thing. I've got one of my daily drivers came out to go to work the other day and it was just stone dead. No lights, nothing on the dash, just dead, which is a pretty basic problem. I think everybody runs into this from time to time, and I'm just gonna kind of show you a few things, how to fix what the problem is on the vehicle I've got right now. It's not a very exciting vehicle, but I'm sure there's a lot of this type of thing in your day-to-day. Let me just flip the camera around here, and what we got is a 2012 Ford Focus. Basic transportation. I use this for a daily. For more or less, its redeeming quality is that it gets phenomenal gas mileage. It gets 37, 38. And I drive roughly 140, 150 miles round trip to work every day. So while something like this is fun to zip around in, it will eat you alive in fuel. So again, not the most exciting thing, but it's it applies. It applies to whatever you're driving. Pay no attention to the hood. That's going to be a spring project. I'm going to try my hand at stripping paint. What's left of it, most of it came off on its own, and painting. I can kind of practice on this thing. So we'll get going here. I'm going to show you, just kind of testing the battery, what you're looking for against a battery that's functioning properly. So let's get to it. All right, so on this particular vehicle, battery is half tucked underneath the cowl. Get this inspection cover off. Hopefully. There you go. And you can see it kind of sits underneath like this. The first thing you want to do is, just check for power, see if there's any life left in it. There's always that possibility that something caused the battery to go dead, not just the battery died on its own. So the first thing you want to grab, test light. I got a cheap one. As I've said before, I'm kind of a fan of the Harbor Freight stuff because I'm not trying to make a living at this. So inexpensive is just fine. So find your ground post. This one actually has a remote ground because the negative on the battery is tucked way under the cowl. Get that hooked up and test light to the positive side of the battery. And as you can see, very faintly, I drew that again, very faintly, it is lighting up. Now, for comparison's sake, we'll go to a good battery, and this is one of my other dailies when we get into this vehicle. This is my 2007 Chrysler Aspen, basically a fancy Durango. Well, let's just use this as an example of what you normally would see on your test light with a good battery. And of course, let's get this re-secured here. I know this one is good. Boom. So that's what you should see. If the Escort was stone dead, there'd be absolutely no light on at all. So next thing you want to grab, a battery tester. Again, this is a very inexpensive one that I have. Let's set this up on here. And again, hook it up the same way. Ground to the body ground. And positive to the positive on the battery. And as you see, There's a little bit of power there, but it is very low. I'm going to disconnect the battery, or the positive from the battery, reconnect it. So it's not completely dead, but it's not doing this car any good. And again, take this off and compare it to the known good battery in my other vehicle. And as you can see, this one's over 12 volts. 12 volt system, more than 12 volts, battery's got a good charge in it. Now you can also use this, as you can see, you got the charging system. You can hook that up with the vehicle running and it should show you what the battery is putting out. Let me just juice this back up again. Again, you should see that jump up to the green area. Most people want 14 to 14.5 volts. That means you're putting charge back into the battery while it's running. The alternator is doing what it's supposed to, restoring the battery and basically running all the systems while the vehicle is running. So we have established that the battery in the Focus is bad. So I'm going to get set up and show you how that gets changed. All right, so you got to pull the battery out of this, which means the air filter housing has to be moved out of the way, then disconnect the battery, and it kind of slides out. So at the stuff I need, let's get to it. The air filter box, you disconnect the input tube to the throttle body. There's a rubber strap that holds the air intake to the fresh air inlet from the grill. Disconnect. Rolls from the box. It's cold this morning, so everything's going to be a little bit thin. Being stubborn, of course. Disconnect some of the harness connectors. Oh. I'll find it away. Just grab this real quick and show you. Turn around. So now the air box pulled out. You now got way more access to this battery and a place for this to come out. So I'll set you back up here and we'll keep going on the battery. All right. So the next thing is to get the battery out. There's a hold down bracket, which we need this for. And this takes a 10 millimeter. Pretty standard. So every vehicle out there has got a battery hold on of some sort. So in case you get in an accident, the car flips over, it holds the battery in place. Doesn't become a safety issue. Out of there. Almost there. Right. And I'm going to disconnect the positive on the battery. Again, that's a 10 millimeter. And then when you get it back all the way off, you just need to loosen it enough so you can pull the battery cable off. Positive. Here. This front portion of the box pulls up a little and slides out. So now you should be able to pull the battery back enough to get it out there. You do first need to get the negative cable off, which now you've been able to pull it back. You got a little bit more access to it. That again, 10 millimeter. Just loosen it up enough to get the cable off. A little stubborn. Sometimes you got to work them back and forth and get them to come completely loose. There we go. Battery out. Set this one down. All right, so battery's out. Let's get another look at this. So what we had, positive cable, ground or negative. Battery sits back in this box. Bracket, when the battery's in place, sits right over the top and clamps it down. And this front piece, as you can see, lifts back and slips over and kind of contains the battery. So I'm going to grab the new battery and get her slid in there, and we'll just reverse the process to put the new battery in. All right, here's our new battery. Always a good idea before you wrestle this thing all in, test it. Just because it's new doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. The other thing, you'll see the carry handle actually has a little protective cover on it, which we'll see if it fits over our battery end, because it's always a good thing to have. Something you see people sometimes make the mistake of is there's also a protective cap on the negative. You see people sometimes forget to take this off, put the terminal over the end of it, and wonder why the car doesn't start. Sounds dumb, but it happens. So let's throw the tester on the new battery and make sure that it is actually good. And yes, it is. Just under 13, so this has got a good charge in it. All right, let's get her in. All right, so I slid her in and attached the negative because it's kind of a pain in the ass. Just got to have it kind of tilted and slide her in. So let's get the rest of it hooked up and see if we got a car that starts. Get the trap door back on. And those of you in the cold climate know the plastic stuff. Be really careful. It's about 30 degrees out today. Plastic gets really brittle when it's cold. So you want to be extra careful, be gentle. You don't snap anything. Because then you're zip tying stuff back together or going out and buying things that you wouldn't have to if you're a little bit less of a gorilla when you're taking things apart. Truck door in. Positive on. You could hear that little crackle as it attaches. That's a good sign. Turn this down. And I don't think this little protective cap's going to work. They came with the battery, so we're just going to chuck that. Now, I would suggest at this point, before you bolt everything in, just to be safe, test start the vehicle. So hold on tight, and then I'm going to make sure that this thing fires up. Yes, the box is off. It's not going to make a difference. We just want to make sure it starts. So hang tight. Success. So, weak battery showed itself. Tested low on cold cranking amps. Got a couple of cold snaps, and that was enough to take it out. Damn near. There's a little life left in it, but not anywhere near enough to get it to start. I guess I'd rather be doing when it's 30 degrees out than when it's minus 10. So, success. Basic maintenance. I won't bore you through me putting the airbox back in, but again, stuff like this, testing, it's pretty basic. Not the most complicated problem to fix. Batteries in general, it's kind of the same deal getting a battery out. It's just a matter where the battery's located. Like I said, this one's a bit of a pain in the ass because it's under the cowl halfway. One of the other vehicles in the fleet, which is my wife's Dodge Journey, that one's actually in the driver's side wheel well. So that one really sucks. Wheels got to come off, the inner splash shield's got to come out, and I don't care where you're from, even more so where I'm at, with all the salt and the snow. I don't care how well sealed it is, crap gets kicked up in there, and it's nasty. So this one really wasn't too bad. So, like I said, set you back in here. I won't bore you with putting the bracket back on and getting the airbox in, but that's changing the battery. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to try and put some other basic maintenance type stuff together up on the channel. I appreciate any likes and comments. Subscribe if you can. That will really help me out. And we'll see you in the next one.